Jones, you know how an iPhone works, right? You've had iPhone text messaging for several years now.
Yeah.
What does it mean if the messages are in blue? Whose messages are those? Whose phone is this taken from?
I don't know whose phone's taken from. I mean, I turned the phone over and said, take the stuff off.
Can I have you look in the very bottom below the very bottom left corner? Is that your phone number?
Yes. So you did get my text messages. And it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones. Oh. Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone, and then...
Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I mean, I told you I gave them the phone over.
Just
and
answer the question.
You said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text, did the search function for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah. Well, of course, I mean, that's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not what happened.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones,
please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bankston also only asks questions.
Sure. Mr. Jones, in discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
I mean, if I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there.
You know what perjury is, right? I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you I gave, in my testimony, the phone to the lawyers before or whatever, and so you got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones. One more time. And please remember, if you need to assert the Fifth Amendment, you can. I need to know that you can do that.
Ooh, boy. I mean, I hate Alex Jones, but apparently not as much as Alex Jones's lawyers hate Alex Jones. Now, first of all, this clip comes from Law and Crime Network, so give them a follow. Now, as for Jones, the far-right conspiracy theorist and grifter host of InfoWars, he's currently in court to determine how much he'll have to pay in damages to the parents of a Sandy Hook victim for claiming that the shooting was a hoax and that the children were actors. For years, Jones has claimed that he couldn't find any text messages regarding Sandy Hook, only for his own lawyer to then send a digital copy of his entire phone to the Sandy Hook parents' lawyer. And lo and behold, those same elusive texts that Jones couldn't manage to find suddenly appeared. But hey, I'm sure Jones must have just missed them. Now, here are two reasons why this moment in particular is really bad for Jones. First, he got caught perjuring himself. He decided to say under oath that he didn't have any text regarding Sandy Hook. He did, meaning that he committed perjury. And I'm no lawyer, but I would imagine that that's not great if you're trying to not go bankrupt. But second, his lawyer had the chance to at least try to identify some of the information as privileged, or, oh, I don't know, simply let his own client know that he just royally screwed him. But instead, he didn't do any of those things. He just left Alex Jones out to dry. And look, I've never been one to put any stock in karma. It's real, folks. It's real. But the best part is Alex Jones trying to claim that he's been cooperative because the opposing counsel ultimately ended up with his texts, despite the fact that when he was asked if he'd sent any text regarding Sandy Hook, he said no, which would be laughable if this guy didn't actually take himself seriously. In other words, Jones is trying to suggest that even though he lied, even though he perjured himself, because in the end the Sandy Hook family's attorney ended up with the text anyway thanks to the incompetence of Jones's own lawyer, that somehow that means that Jones was cooperative. When they say gaslighting, this is what they mean. And this isn't the first time that Jones has been caught in just this trial lying. Here's the judge reprimanding Jones for lying not once, but twice before.
Mr. Jones, you may not say to this jury that you complied with discovery. That is not true. You may not say it again. You may not tell this jury that you are bankrupt. That is also not true. You may have filed for bankruptcy. I don't know that, but I've heard that. That doesn't make a person or a company bankrupt. You're already under oath to tell the truth. You've already violated that oath twice today in just those two examples. It seems absurd to instruct you again that you must tell the truth while you testify, yet here I am. You must tell the truth while you testify. This is not your show. You need to slow down and not take what you see as opportunities to further the message you're wanting to further. And instead, only answer the specific and exact question you have been asked.
And all of this really does put into perspective the kind of people, the quality of people who the right lionizes. From Alex Jones, who seems physically incapable of not lying when his own financial interests are directly on the line, to Donald Trump, who, again, wouldn't be able to tell the truth if any of his kids' lives depended on it, the GOP has elevated the most shameless, brazen liars it could possibly find. So maybe take a look at these people and recognize that there is a deep-rooted rot on the right. Their mouthpieces are liars, crooks, cheats, grifters, and criminals, and they're so incapable of even momentary honesty or integrity that they would rather bury themselves deeper into their own self-created holes than simply admit the truth. And as for Jones specifically, when he lied in court about being bankrupt, he might have actually just manifested that reality for himself after all. Before you go, couple things. First, if you want to support my work, the best way is to follow this page. And second, if you want to see and hear more from me, check out my website, briantylercohen.com. That way you can get links to my podcast, merchandise, ways to donate to voting rights organizations, and so much more. Again, that's briantylercohen.com. And as always, thanks so much for watching.